12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we're learning much more about the horrific domestic violence situation that unfolded this past Friday in Surprise. Police say it all started when Todd Marchetti broke into his former family's home in the middle of the night, holding his ex-wife and their 7-month-old baby hostage for hours. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Caribe Divine. Police say that he shot the baby, who miraculously survived. But Marchetti did not, setting the house on fire before taking his own life.
12 News journalist Bianca Bono is live outside of what's left of that home near Cactus and Cotton Lane. And Bianca, first and foremost, how is the baby tonight?
Guys, it truly is nothing short of a miracle. 7-month-old Jackson is alive and awake after being shot multiple times, including in the shoulder, the foot, and near his wrist. Family describes the infant as tough, and he has certainly proven that to be true.
We were having drinks with friends on the ship.
The text that Michael Norman and his wife Susie received on Friday while on an Alaskan cruise is hard to comprehend.
Allie's friend texted Susie to tell her, do you know what's going on?
Allie is their daughter, and her friend would break the news to them that their grandson, 7-month-old Jackson, had been shot repeatedly. The person who pulled the trigger, Todd Marchetti, Jackson's father.
Susie just screaming. And then Mara showed us a picture of the house burning. I don't know what TV station it was from.
In real time, unable to get off the ship, as their grandson was airlifted to the hospital, they watched their home in Surprise burn to the ground.
You close your eyes and all you can think of is, God, I hope nothing happens to Jackson or Allie.
They would later learn the horror Allie faced for hours that day and the heroism she displayed to save herself and her baby. She had left Marchetti, who family says was violent and abusive. Allie moved into her parents' home to escape him.
Todd was doing maybe 100 to 300 messages a day to her.
Officials say Marchetti knew they were gone on vacation. So around 3 a.m. Friday, he broke in, armed with a machete. He shot their family dog and held Allie and Jackson hostage for hours. Allie's first escape plan convinced Marchetti to take the dog to the vet.
She'd be able to alert someone and have the authorities contacted. That opportunity did not present itself to her.
She came up with another plan, saying she would alert nearby construction crews to the broken window. Instead, she told them to call 911.
Her actions saved not only her life, but the life of her son.
When officers arrived, they heard shots ringing out from inside. Body camera footage showing them force entry, saving the baby.
He's having an MRI. They're trying to make sure that his intestines and everything are clear of any lead from bullets or anything else.
After an hours-long standoff, Marchetti set the house on fire and took his own life. Now, the focus is on the life that was saved.
He's alive. He's doing good. We love him. We need him in our life, so we're thankful.
And Surprise police confirmed they did have a recent domestic violence report about Marchetti and Allie. They've also been made aware of additional domestic violence incidents from other jurisdictions between Marchetti and Allie and Marchetti and a juvenile. You can find a link to different domestic violence resources right now on our website, 12news.com. There you can also find links to GoFundMe pages that have been set up to help Allie and Jackson and their family during this impossible time. We're live in Surprise tonight. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Bianca, thanks. New at 10, we have an update on a shooting that left a man dead overnight in Tempe. Police tell us 49-year-old Joseph Aguilar was the man who was shot and killed near Scottsdale Road in McKellips. Tempe PD says they've arrested 22-year-old Austin James Raul Daleo. He now faces a second-degree murder charge. Tonight, it's unclear what led to the shooting. Also tonight, a mystery unfolding in a North Phoenix neighborhood. 2 people found dead in a home near the 101 and Cave Creek Road.
Investigators arrived on scene around 10 a.m. and tonight neighbors are still anxious to learn what happened. Chase Golightly has been working this scene to get answers. And Chase, this situation has neighbors really worried tonight.
Caribe, Mark, they want to know how these two people died and if there's a suspect still on the loose. Now, about 15 minutes ago, most investigators left this cul-de-sac centered around the investigation. Only one police cruiser remains at this time. But from what we're told, this investigation is far from over. A man and woman found dead in this North Phoenix home Monday morning.
I'm in shock. Just can't believe this is happening.
Causing worry from those like Kathy Padilla, John Bastian, and other neighbors who watched as detectives investigated.
It is scary.
Phoenix police say they got the call at about 10 o'clock. When they arrived, they found both bodies in the garage. Throughout the day, detectives were seen going in and out, taking photos of the scene, trying to piece together what exactly happened. 12 News learned the home where this happened is listed on Airbnb as a rental. However, we don't know if the victims were staying at the home or were the owners. There are still several other questions looking to be answered. At this time, police have not said if this is a homicide investigation or if there are any suspects in this. Answers these neighbors want to know.
I'm scared. I don't know what's going on.
At the same time, their thoughts and prayers are with the victims' families.
The whole neighborhood's thinking of them, even the ones that didn't know them. You know, we're all a quiet neighborhood, you know. We all just hope that the family can, you know, just find a way.
And again, police are still looking into the cause of death for both of these victims. Of course, we'll keep asking the questions to find out more of this situation, so be sure to stick with 12 News. For now, we're live in North Phoenix. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thank you. We are continuing to follow the massive wildfire that's burning in the Tonto National Forest in the far Northeast Valley that has charred more than 22 square miles of land. And we received an update on the Wildcat fire just about an hour ago. Since 11 this morning, the fire has grown by over 200 acres. Now, at that time, the fire was 0% contained, but we have learned that crews contained 23% of the wildfire today. Now, this afternoon, fire officials said that they had to stop flying attacks over the fire due to the windy weather. The fire has forced road closures that are still in effect. Bartlett Dam Road has been closed since the fire started on Saturday morning.
And Linz, these windy conditions certainly aren't helping firefighters.
Not at all. And today was especially windy. We had 30, 35-mile-per-hour wind gusts in the vicinity of that fire. Tonight, those winds have come down all across the state. Safford, Greer, Show Low, those areas had 40 and 50-mile-an-hour gusts today. And you can see virtually calm right now, but those winds will begin to pick up again tomorrow. Not as windy as today. This is today's fire risk, where we had critical fire weather over much of northern and eastern Arizona. But tomorrow that threat shifts a little bit further east because it won't be as windy. And you can see elevated fire risk for eastern Arizona. There are no current warnings in effect for the day tomorrow. Hour by hour, sunrise time for Tuesday is at 5:24, and highs are going to be very seasonal in the mid-90s by the mid to late afternoon. Caribe?
All right, Lindsay, thank you. Tomorrow, 12 of the defendants charged in Arizona's fake electors case are expected to appear in court. 12 News has just learned that former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani plans to ask for a virtual appearance. 18 people were indicted on charges alleging that they illegally tried to overturn Donald Trump's 2020 election defeat. Several defendants have been granted extensions to appear later on this month and also in the month of June. Last week, Trump's former lawyer, John Eastman, pled not guilty to 9 felony counts in Maricopa County Superior Court.
General Sherman once said, "War is hell." But many times, out of the ashes of war, something wonderful blooms.
12 News journalist Jonathan McCall introduces us to a Vietnam veteran who found his peace in some of the most unlikeliest of places.
Some of the people I served with were just incredible, and we trusted each other. You know, we became brothers, and so it definitely does bring back a lot of memories.
Ted Gross served in the Army during the Vietnam War.
I was combat infantry, so we would go out on recon. We would set up ambush, listening posts. I think the ambush was probably the most stressful for me.
Among his duties, going down into the infamous Viet Cong tunnels, where danger could be waiting in the darkness with traps or the enemy.
Went down there with a flashlight and a knife and a handgun. Scary. Turned out to be best friends. His name was Larry Rycroft. He was killed. And so I guess I have survivor's guilt on that one.
War can definitely change a man. Ted says he struggled for years after the war to find his new path. It turned out to be in the friendly skies.
I ended up being a flight attendant.
Flying for 27 years with America West, U.S. Airways, and America Airlines.
This is me in my uniform.
It became a career that ended up being therapeutic for the combat veteran.
Got to travel, got to meet a lot of people. At that time, I think that's what I needed.
Today, he volunteers with Grounded No More, a nonprofit that flies veterans in a World War II plane. Ted was one of the first veterans to take a flight and says it brought him much needed relief.
It was peaceful. You could kind of let go of some things. In Vietnam, we can't undo what we did and we can't unsee what we saw. But when I went up in Amazing Grace, it seemed like for that time period, I didn't have to think about it. It wasn't in my thoughts.
Finding peace in the sky is what Ted says inspires him to help fellow veterans.
It's an honor to serve my country. I love this country.
That was Jonathan McCall reporting. We want to thank Ted for his service. 12 News is honoring the courage, dedication, and sacrifice of those in our armed forces, and we love sharing the stories and photographs of the veterans who are closest to you. To submit your Those Who Serve stories and photos for a chance to be featured on the air, go to 12news.com/thosewhoserve.